Welcome back to the space of tonight. And tonight, the lullaby comes from the Earth, a planet that never stops moving, never stops changing, and never stops remembering. Yes, the Earth has a memory. Those memories aren't written on paper. They aren't stored in libraries or in maps. They're carved into rock, in layers of sediment as soft as the whisper of time, in metamorphic bands twisted like memories compressed beneath tens of kilometers of continental crust. In every grain of sand that falls from a mountaintop is carried on the wind and finally comes to rest on some faraway shore, only to begin another cycle again. Every stone is a story. Every vein is a very small voice. And in the stillness of tonight, we can hear that whisper. The earth is never still, even though we often believe the ground beneath our feet to be the most solid thing of all. In truth, it's only a temporary moment in a journey of billions of years. Mountains are born and fade away. Continents drift apart, then reunite. Oceans open and close. Ice encloses the globe and then melts. Creatures appear, vanish, and return in new forms. Everything moves. Everything is quiet, and sometimes the only thing we need to do is sit still and feel. Part 1: Earth's structure and plate tectonics. If the Earth were shrunk to the size of an apple, the crust, the place where we live, would be only as thick as the apple's skin, a layer so thin it's almost unbelievable, a layer that floats like a calm lake above a deep ocean of fire. Beneath that crust lies the mantle hot rock, but not entirely molten. It doesn't blaze like a flame. It moves very slowly, very deep, very heavy, like thick honey creeping in silence. Rock there can flow, but at centimeters per year. So slow, we might think it doesn't move at all, but extend the view over 10 million years. Mountains rise, seas split, continents change shape like silk folded and unfolded by the hands of time. On that mantle's surface, Earth's crust isn't one unbroken shell, but a mosaic of tectonic plates, vast rafts of stone floating on the slow fire below. These plates drift as slowly as your fingernails grow or your hair lengthens, a pace almost impossible to notice. But time isn't in a hurry, and neither is Earth. Where plates move apart, hot mantle wells up from below, cools, and becomes new rock forming young ocean floor. A chain of underwater volcanoes tens of thousands of kilometers long quietly creates new planet every day, unseen. Where plates collide, the earth wrinkles, like cloth pushed from one side. Mountains rise, vast ranges, broken horizons, places where wind sharpens rock like a blade, and clouds embrace the sky's crown. Where one plate dives beneath another, rock is pulled down, melts, and returns as new magma. The old sinks, the new is born. A planetary cycle of renewal, all of it occurring slowly, softly, continuously, so that without geologic maps, we might imagine this planet stands still. But it isn't still, it breathes. Imagine this. Beneath your feet, giant slabs of rock are moving, not hastily, not loudly, just a deliberate motion, very deep, very long. And that very motion has made every skyline you've ever seen, every shoreline you've ever stood upon, every hill you've climbed, every valley you've watched pass by a car window. The things we call unchanging are only a moment in an endless journey. If you rest your hand on the ground, very slowly, you might imagine that breath, not a human heartbeat, but a beat measured in millimeters per year, the heartbeat of rock, the heartbeat of geologic time. We live for a brief interval of this planet. A human life is a flash, a speck of dust glittering as a sunbeam crosses a window, and precisely for that reason, we're blessed to witness a moment of a 4.5 billion year symphony. You don't need to understand everything, you only need to listen. If your eyes are growing heavy, let them close. If your breath is slowing, let your body guide you. There is nothing to force. The earth existed long before you and will continue long after. There is no rush. We are drifting with the planet, light as a leaf on a lake. When you're ready, we'll go deeper to the places where mountains are born, where fire cools into stone, where diamonds arise in the deepest dark. Part 2: Mountains, Volcanoes, and Magma. Now, we go farther in, beneath the thin crust we stand upon, to where rock is still alive. Perhaps when you hear rock, you imagine something dry, rigid, cold, and dead. But inside Earth, rock is not still. It flows, it coils, it breathes. Before it became the slab you can hold in your hand, before it became the silent summit under the sky, rock was magma, rivers of radiant red, unimaginably hot, flowing in the planet's darkness. Imagine standing before a block of granite, smoothed by time, glittering with tiny grains in the light. It looks so very, very still. But many millions of years ago, it was a river of fire, slowly rising from the mantle, pooling in great magma chambers underground, then cooling bit by bit, not for minutes, not for days, not for years, for millions of quiet years. Heat eased away, motion slowed, crystals inside began to arrange themselves, like tiny stars finding their right places to form their own sky. When you touch granite's surface, you're touching cooled light, a flow stopped by time, a moment of fire turned to permanence. But not every magma ends quietly. Sometimes Earth's energy can't find a gentle path out. It gathers like a breath held too long. There, a volcano is born. Each volcano has a magma chamber at its base, a hot, glowing heart, slowly swelling and relaxing, like a sleeping creature that isn't fully at rest. When pressure grows beyond anything that can contain it, the ground fractures, and Earth exhales. Some exhalations last only an hour, some endure for hundreds of thousands of years. In Earth's history, there were eruptions called flood basalts, deluges of fire, not jets of lava that quickly harden, but oceans of magma sweeping across land, spreading for hundreds of kilometers, stacking kilometers thick, and continuing, slow as a star's season. Such episodes can change climate, shake life itself. Some species vanish, others appear. In those moments, the planet rewrites its story. There are other moments, faster, sharper, more sudden, when magma meets cold air or seawater, so quickly that crystals can't form. It becomes obsidian, volcanic glass, black, glossy, sharp enough to cut flesh like a knife, a thing born of fire, bearing the beauty of darkness. Under the sea, where magma meets water fast, rock freezes into puffed, rounded masses, like piled pillows. This is pillow lava, sleeping bubbles of fire, still housing Earth's breath within. And then, Another strange stone, diamond. Diamonds don't form where light can reach. They're made very deep, at pressures that force carbon atoms into a completely different order. Perfect, tight, pure, so resilient that nothing on Earth can mar it. Usually this takes millions, billions of years, but sometimes, in a brief chaos of heat and pressure, it happens in an instant, a blink of the planet, a short note in a 4.5 billion year symphony. Beauty doesn't always need time to be born. It needs the right conditions, as in your own life. If your eyelids are drooping now, let them. If thoughts are drifting like thin mist, let them drift. We are still here, within the earth, between heat that never truly fades, and a stillness only time understands. When you inhale, imagine drawing in the warmth of ancient magma. When you exhale, let your body sink farther into quiet. And when you're ready, we'll go to the sea, where rock is born not beneath the sky, but beneath the deepest, lightless oceans. Part 3: Oceans and Oceanic Crust. Now we leave the glowing vents of the deep and turn toward the ocean. Not the familiar blue surface, but the world beneath, vaster than all we know on land. You may have heard the ocean covers more than 70% of Earth's surface. Stranger still, oceanic crust is younger than continental crust. It is continually reborn, like lungs slowly opening and closing in the planet's long breath. On the deep sea floor, where two plates pull apart, rock from hot mantle rises, not in bursts, not in haste, in a steady, slow, patient flow. Magma cools upon touching water and becomes new rock. These new layers push the older ones aside, widening the ocean floor a little at a time. Can you picture it? The ocean is not a tranquil plain. It nudges, drifts, shifts, stretches, like a dark cloth being gently pulled beneath the surface, and all of it in silence. Yet the planet leaves signs for those who listen. On the seabed, rocks carry magnetic stripes, bands that run parallel like barcodes. They record the times when Earth's magnetic field flipped, when North traded places with South. While the rock was hot, tiny iron grains inside aligned with the field. When the rock cooled and solidified, that direction froze in time. Millions of years later, another reversal, and new rock formed with the opposite alignment. Thus, the seafloor becomes a book written in magnetism, each page an era, each page a breath of the planet. No words, only traces. Now go deeper, deeper still, to where light never arrives, the Mariana Trench, a long, narrow gash so deep that if Everest stood on its floor, its summit would remain underwater. Pressure there could crush steel like a brittle twig. Temperatures hover near freezing. Darkness is thick, total, absolute. And yet there is life. Life that needs no sun, no light, no sky. It draws energy from the earth itself. At rifts in the abyss, seawater seeps down, heats, then jets back up like the planet's breath. Black smokers rise, not smoke, but mineral-rich, superheated water. On contact with cold ocean, it condenses, billowing like a dreamer's dark cloud. Around those vents, strange creatures live, not by sunlight, but by chemistry. They eat the energy of rock, tube worms red as embers, clams with shells shining like obsidian mirrors, ancient bacteria performing chemosynthesis, turning minerals into life. They don't need to know what happens on land. They don't need to know sky, cloud, or sunset. They live in rock time, and perhaps that isn't so different from you right now, slipping from wakeful brightness into a deeper, darker, softer ease. You don't need light to understand. You only need to feel. Let your breath flow like the tide, in, then out, unhurried, unforced. We'll continue from the deep, dark ocean to mountains that reach the sky, to see that even rock is growing. Part 4, Living Mountains. Now we leave the abyss and return to the surface, to horizons drawn like long brushstrokes of time, where mountains seemingly still, silent, immutable, are in motion. Mountains are growing, too slowly for the human eye to notice, but nothing on earth is truly at rest. Imagine the Himalaya, a colossal wall barring winds and clouds, touching the thin, cold air above, a place where sunrise slices through ice and night falls like a quiet veil over a guttering candle. Mountains are often called ancient, but the Himalaya are young, geologically speaking. They were born when the Indian plate drifted into Eurasia, two rivers of stone meeting in a silence of 10,000 years. Each year, they rise by millimeters to centimeters, tiny, very tiny, but never ceasing, live for millions of years, and you'd see them heave like the slow breath of a sleeping god. We live for a moment, so to us, mountains stand still. But uplift isn't the only force. There is carving, wind scrapes summits, dust and snow grind, water seeps into cracks, freezes, thaws. Each cycle pries off a thin slice of time. Glaciers pour downhill, dragging debris, planing valleys wide into U-shapes, a patient hand's long stroke. Thus mountains grow and are worn at once, two opposing forces balanced in an endless dance. Mountains aren't still, they are alive. Look at a mountain and you look at a story of pressure, collision, patience, and tireless time. Folds ripple through its body, rock not only pushed up, but bent, pressed, twisted, stretched, like stacked pages. Those lines are wrinkles on an elder's face, each crease a memory, fossilized motion. Stand in a deep valley or amid high ranges, and you may feel it. The silence of mountains is unlike the silence of night or of rooms. It is the silence of something that knows what we do not, a silence with weight, with an age older than all languages. In it you become smaller, lighter, a breath of dust on ancient stone, not devoured, but placed right where you belong in the universe. No need to be grand, no need to strive, just to be. Like a mountain, imagine a mountainside at dawn. Mist clings to slabs of rock. The air is cold and thin, clear as headwater. The sun hasn't fully risen, but light begins to spill across distant ridges. A quiet summons. You stand there, and in that moment, there is no future, no past, only standing, breathing, knowing you are alive. Mountains teach this lesson, not in words, but in endurance. If your breath is slower now, that is natural. If your mind is wide and hazy as a sky with fog, that too is natural. We aren't running or studying or forcing sense. We rest with the earth, and in rest, everything becomes light, soft, simple. Let me lead you where even ice flows, where time moves not by minutes, but by millimeters of stone in centuries. A white, slow world, quiet as the whisper of falling dew. Part 5. Glaciers, slow rivers of stone. We leave summits growing in silence for another world, where time moves so slowly it seems to stand still. The realm of glaciers. Glacier ice is not just ice. It is living stone, water compressed over centuries by its own weight, becoming dense, thick, heavy a force unto itself. Imagine a high valley where this year's snow lies atop last year's, year upon year, thickening, weighing down, until deep below, snow transforms into blue ice, clear and still, as if light itself had been frozen. And then, something strange. The ice begins to flow, not like liquid water, not as melt, but as a river made of stone. Slow, so slow, no human lifetime can see it move, but it moves. Glaciers creep down slope, carrying pebbles, boulders, and fragments of the mountain's memory. Where they pass, they leave their footprints on the land. A narrow valley can widen into a gentle, broad U, soft, wide, smoothed like time's caress. Fjords, deep blue water flanked by sheer stone, mark the retreat of ice. No noise, no display, just a shape left in the earth. But ice isn't always gentle. Sometimes glaciers surge sudden accelerations, not centimeters per year, but meters per day, fast enough to watch, like a quiet beast waking. Why? We don't always know. Maybe the ice slides on a film of meltwater. Maybe pressure's slow breathing finds a release. Whatever the reason, one truth remains. Even the slowest things can become fierce, like human feeling, like the heart, like memory we thought long asleep, slow but never extinguished. Now let this image cradle you, a plain of ice stretching to the horizon, a light wind, no cars, no voices, no task to complete, only white light spread evenly, and a depth of quiet in which you can hear your own heartbeat. There is no speed here, no urgency, only slow time, very slow, the planet's pulse. If you wish, close your eyes. There is nothing to hold. Ice offers this lesson. Strength doesn't live in haste. It lives in constancy, in simply continuing, slowly, without ceasing. Where glaciers go, they carry the mountain's story. When they melt, they return those pieces to rivers, then to plains, then to the sea, to rest as sand under some faraway afternoon tide touching your feet. In a single grain of sand lies an old range. In a grain of sand lies time. In a grain of sand lies the breath of ice. If your breathing now drifts as slowly as the tide, that is natural. If your mind has grown as gentle as water under a thin crust of ice, that is natural too. You are drifting with the planet, with the ice, without strain, without effort, just drifting. And now, let the ice carry us to the shore, where every grain is a memory of mountains, of fire, of ice, of motion. Part 6. Sediment, sand and shore. We leave the heavy, quiet rivers of ice for the coast, where every journey of stone ends and begins again. Imagine standing on a beach, not any particular one, but an eternal shore where time takes the shape of tiny grains. You bend, scoop a handful, Grains slip through your fingers soft, light, nameless. Yet each grain was once a mountain, granite strong, a cliff stern in wind and rain, time with wind, water, ice, and sun, grounded slowly, patiently, bit by bit, big rock to small rock to gravel, gravel to sand. Sand is memory made smooth. Each grain carries its own story. One might have ridden glacial dust, slid down rivers through valleys, crossed plains, been lifted and laid by waves a million times, until it softened, edges rounded, like a thought finally let go. Sand is time made gentle. In some places, sand can sing when grains are near perfect in size and dry. As they slide over one another on a shifting dune, they produce a low tone, like a stringed instrument resonating in the chest, like the desert's voice. Ancients called it the god's song. Explorers said it was the earth breathing. Science calls them singing dunes. You needn't explain it. Just imagine a wide dune, a light wind, a long, low hum, rolling through the ground, a lullaby. Not all beaches wear yellow. Earth never chooses only one color. There are black sands, shattered volcanic rock, green sands from deep-sourced olivine, pink sands, coral and shell fragments, red sands, iron oxidized. Each beach is a geologic story fading in daylight. Sand is the planet's pigment. Some sands don't come from mountains at all, but from life. The whitest beaches are not merely rock powder, but countless fragments of shells, coral, plankton, lives completed. When waves break coral and fish bones, pieces fall, scrape one another, break again and again, until they are powder. The sea doesn't divide life and death, it transforms. There is another journey of dust. Dust from the Sahara, carried by wind across the ocean, half the world, to rain upon the Amazon. That dust, rich in minerals and phosphorus, feeds the largest forests on earth. The desert, seemingly lifeless, nourishes the greenest place. You see, nothing exists alone. All things feed each other, even across half a planet. Now imagine a wave. Don't see it sharply, just feel it. It comes, touches the shore, recedes, comes again, touches, recedes. Like your breath, like your heart, like every moment of your life. Nothing arrives and stays forever. Nothing leaves and never returns. All is rhythm, slow, deep, gentle. Let your mind be like sand, let waves pass through. Don't hold, don't resist. Thoughts will soften as rock softens in the sea. Feelings will round like a grain under moonlight. Heaviness will drift away like the ebb of a night tide. There is nothing to do, only breathe. When you're ready, we'll step deeper into Earth's memory, to where ancient life is recorded in rock and fossil, like pages read but never forgotten. Part 7: Fossils and the Early History of Life. We lower ourselves toward the ground, not to search, but to listen. Earth has a deep memory. It keeps everything that has happened, not in letters or in sound, but in stone. Every sedimentary layer is a page, every fossil a word. Imagine rain falling onto a muddy lake hundreds of millions of years ago. Each drop dimples the soft surface. Moments later, the wind passes, water retreats, mud dries, and another layer falls atop. Time compresses. Mud turns to rock. The raindrop prints remain. A fleeting instant kept forever. A second so short in the present, but eternal as stone memory. Sometimes even the softest tissues are preserved. A feather, a patch of skin, a faint hue, even pigment traces suggesting the colors once bright on the first birds or on winged dinosaurs. With each fossil decoded, we learn not only that life existed, but how it looked: smooth, rough, bright, dark, silent yet complete. And there are fossils that tell the beginning of life itself. Go back 3.5 billion years, when seas were warm, skies red, no trees, no insects, nothing familiar, only simple cyanobacteria, too small to see. They lived in shallow light, layering into soft films, trapping sand, precipitating minerals, building up one sheet over another, year after year, million after million, forming stromatolites, ancient stone pancakes still present today, storytellers from life's dawn. Look at a stromatolite and you look directly into life's first era, a time of simplicity, patience, and light. Those cyanobacteria did something greater still. They changed the atmosphere. By breathing and photosynthesizing, they released oxygen where none existed. At first, that oxygen dissolved in the sea, reacting with iron, forming banded iron formations, red and gray stripes, like the heartbeat of a planet waking. When the iron was all oxidized, oxygen escaped into the air, turning the sky blue, changing the face of land, opening the path for complex life. You breathe a gift from the smallest beings, creatures you will never meet, but who live in every breath you take. Pause now, rest a hand on your chest, feel your heart. Its rhythm, like evolution's, is a long cycle, repeating, unfolding from slow toward exquisite. Nothing in nature is in a hurry. Nothing is forgotten. A fossil isn't only a museum object. It's how Earth remembers life as you remember dreams. Each fossil whispers, I lived. I passed here. I was part of this world. Now those stories rest in your hands. Light as a breath, deep as a long sleep. Let your thoughts dissolve like sand returning to the sea. Let your heart slow like waves that arrive and withdraw. Don't grasp, don't analyze. Everything is where it belongs. If you're ready, we'll walk into ages of global ice, moments when Earth nearly sank into absolute quiet, then was woken by fire from the deep. Part 8. Extreme geological climate. We continue past the pages the planet wrote in ice and fire. There were times Earth became almost infinitely quiet. Around 700 million years ago came Snowball Earth, ice stretching not only from the poles but to the equator, oceans sealed beneath kilometers of ice. No green waves, no warm currents, no sunlit shallows where life had begun. Nearly all surface things lay still. A white, cold, hushed world. A planet asleep, yet below the ice, in the abyss, near hydrothermal vents, life endured, a small flame in cupped hands, shielded from wind and storm, waiting to flare. Life on Earth has never been so fragile as to vanish for ice alone. It is patient, and patience is the oldest wisdom. Why freeze? Perhaps atmospheric chemistry shifted as oxygen rose, or orbital cycles swung, or greenhouse gases fell. Deeper still, perhaps the planet breathes, an age drawing in, an age exhaling. a long sleep, awaking. What roused Earth from ice was fire. Volcanoes still worked under the lid. Lava still flowed. Magma still vented water vapor and CO2. With oceans sealed by ice, CO2 couldn't dissolve, so it accumulated in air. Slowly, unhurried, inevitably. At last, greenhouse warming grew strong. Ice cracked, melt ponds formed, rivers ran, seas returned, waves came back to the world. Earth breathed out. As the ice melted, long-sealed nutrients flushed into the oceans. Life blossomed again, more complex this time, from simple cells to cells with nuclei, from those to colonies, tissues, organs. Life tried shapes. The stories of coral, fish, moss, forests, animals could begin. Ice and fire did not destroy life, they forged it. Sometimes, not ice but a sustained volcano reshapes planetary breath. Large igneous provinces, Siberian traps, Deccan traps, didn't explode once. They spilled, quietly, steadily, for hundreds of thousands of years. Seas of dark lava spread. Ash and gases dimmed the sun, shifted global temperatures. Once, as much as 90% of marine life died. A page of biology was torn, and the next written in a new hand. Destruction and renewal are not separate chapters. They are halves of one rhythm. Let this settle in you. No upheaval is permanent. No calm is permanent. Earth changes by cycle, by rhythm, by long breath, and you, small as you are, live by that rhythm too. Breath in, breath out, arrival, departure, dissolving, reappearing. Let your shoulders soften. Let thoughts widen like the sea after thaw. Slow, gentle, unforced. When you're ready, we'll watch the continent's great dances. Very slow, longer than any human era can imagine. Part 9, the supercontinent cycle. Now we look at Earth not by years, centuries, or millions, but by heartbeats of the planet's cycles lasting hundreds of millions. Picture the familiar world map: Africa, Asia, the Americas, Australia, Antarctica. As if the pieces were fixed. They aren't. They drift, just a few centimeters per year. Stand and stare, and you will say, nothing moves. But look with time's eyes, and you'll see continents raft across oceans, touch, collide, unite, then part again, like breath, like tide, a cycle unending. In the past, all continents merged, not once, but several times. Nuna, Columbia, Rodinia, Pannotia, Gondwana, and Pangaea. Each supercontinent was an inhalation, the earth drawing the lands together, raising great mountain belts, creating deep, dry interiors, deserts far from sea. Then an exhalation, rupture, new oceans, currents, climates, new pathways for life, coalescence, break up, repeat, at least every 500 million years, with no sign of stopping. Pangaea is the nearest to us in time. About 250 million years ago, all lands formed one vast mass, wrapped by a single ocean. Inside Pangaea, hot, barren, dry, no nearby sea to soften air, deserts spreading in the heart. But along coasts, life flourished. Fern forests towered, ancient reptiles roamed, and life prepared for dinosaurs. Then Pangaea began to split, not in a night or a century, over tens of millions of years. A hairline crack opened, widened, magma rose, seawater poured in, and the Atlantic was born. The map, that solid thing, changed shape like a natural breath. Even now, a future supercontinent is gestating. Names are proposed: Amasia, Aurica, Pangaea, Ultima. But names don't matter. We live between unifications. A pause, a quiet bar in a long score. We can see hints of the next movement. Australia drifting north towards Southeast Asia, centimeters per year, soft, steady, unstoppable. The East African rift widening, ground stretching, groundwater rising, volcanoes along the rift exhaling heat. In tens of millions of years, a new ocean will open there. Africa will divide. It has already begun, without noise, urgency, or drama. Slow, even, sure, like someone sleeping deeply. Let this move through you. Change isn't always visible from a single moment, but it happens, quiet, patient, regular. So it is within you. The largest changes do not come by storm. They come by soft, slow motion, by allowing yourself to be a little softer than yesterday, breathing a little deeper, feeling a little lighter. Earth changes that way. So do you. If you're ready, we'll go into the planet's molten heart, source of the magnetic field, auroras, and Earth's invisible pulse. Part 10, the magnetic field and the core. Imagine passing through Earth's layers. First the crust, apple thin, then the mantle, an ocean of slowly convecting hot rock. Deeper still, the outer core, not solid, but liquid metal, chiefly iron and nickel, flowing, swirling, coiling in slow, mighty streams. It is hotter than the sun's surface, not because of flame, but because of pressure, the weight of the planet above. That liquid iron does not rest. It convects like boiling water, only unimaginably slower. From this motion arises a wonder, Earth's magnetic field. The Earth is a natural generator, a vast geodynamo. Moving conductive metal creates a magnetic field, and that field wraps the planet in an invisible cloak. This cloak deflects the solar wind, streams of energetic particles that could strip our atmosphere, if not turned aside. Because of the field, the air remains. Because of air, the seas remain. Because of the seas, life remains. We remain thanks to a shield we never see. You've seen auroras, ribbons of light across polar skies, green, violet, rose, a dreamer's silk. That is the visible breath of the magnetic field, singing with the solar wind. But the field doesn't stand still. It wanders and sometimes flips. North and south magnetic poles have switched places hundreds of times, a natural motion of the liquid fire below. We know this not from stories, but from cooled lavas. As molten rock slowly hardens, iron grains align to the current field. When the field reverses, new layers harden the other way. Earth keeps an unconscious journal in stone, layer by layer, page by page, not in words, but in the orientation of tiny metals. It doesn't speak, it records. Another secret: the North Magnetic Pole is drifting rapidly, from Canada towards Siberia at nearly 50-60 kilometers per year. Impressive to us. To Earth, a slightly longer breath, no chaos. No ending, only motion. The earth is not still, it flows even as you sleep. Hold this image as you rest, deep beneath you, as you lay yourself down, as your thoughts thin like mist, as your heartbeat slows like ebbing surf. A sea of liquid metal swirls, unhurried, needing neither witness nor praise, doing its work, keeping life here, without demand, display, or credit. A vast, quiet devotion. Perhaps it reminds us the most important things in us are often the quietest, unseen, unnamed, yet they keep us alive. Breathe now, as wide and gentle as the magnetic field. If your eyes wish to close deeper, let them. You're sinking into the planet's breath, but the surface too is not at rest. It trembles lightly, moves, breathes, as you do now. Part 11: Earthquakes and Subtle Changes. We are deep in Earth's rhythm. Now we listen for movements the eye can't see. We look at the ground and see stability. Buildings stand, sand lies still, streets seem as yesterday. Beneath, vast plates keep sliding, passing, colliding, separating by tiny increments. Soundless, patient, in their gaps and breaks, Earth adjusts itself. We call that moment an earthquake. Not all quakes are strong. Not all make houses shudder. Thousands of microquakes pass each day, too gentle to feel, like the body's slow shifts during sleep. Along many faults, rock doesn't snap. It creeps, slipping quietly and continuously. These are like a sleeper turning softly to a more comfortable pose. Not pain, not noise. A self-adjustment to keep resting. Earth has its own sleeps. Sometimes pressure accumulates long, very long. Rock holds tight, energy can't escape, until a moment enough. Release, a breath, a jerk, a second, yet the energy races across continents. Earth breathes hard, and we feel it. After a powerful quake, something subtle may happen. Earth's day can shorten not by minutes, not by seconds, but by fractions of a millisecond. A reminder that the planet is a living body. Mass shifts, weight redistributes, and the spin changes a little. A deep breath, a tiny adjustment. Sometimes rivers reverse for minutes, pushed back by the ground's motion, like a memory flowing the other way. Then everything returns. Seismic waves don't only pass through rock, they can circle the globe like a bell's long ring. After a great quake, the whole earth can hum for hours, days, a low song we can't hear, but instruments record clearly. Earth has its own music, deep, slow, long, felt only by those still enough. And here's the tender part. Earth never shakes forever. After motion, it finds a new balance. It settles, orders itself, rests. Like you have tense days, breaking moments, deeper breaths. Then you find a new equilibrium. Not the old place, not yesterday's you, but a wider, quieter, deeper you, like the earth. If your breath is deeper now, it isn't effort, it's your body believing it is safe. Shoulders low, jaw relaxed, lids half closed, signs of sleep approaching. No rush, no push. A soft path remains into places where water and rock sing in darkness, where eternal lamps hang from stone. Part 12: Caves and Karst. Rivers hidden in rock. We leave the surface mountains standing, rivers running, cease breathing, and go inside. A quiet world, dark, full of water drops falling in heartbeats of time. The realm of caves. Imagine a limestone region rock born in ancient seas. From shells, corals, and ocean lives layered over millions of years, pressed into stone, those mountains were once oceans. Each step is a walk across a fossil sea. Limestone has a secret. It dissolves in water, not like salt in your palm, but very slowly in water bearing CO2 rainwater. Each drop seeps through soil, into rock, and over thousands of silent years, drills soft tunnels into earth. A drop is not fast, not strong, but it persists, and persistence wins. Cracks become gaps, gaps become cavities, cavities become chambers, chambers become caves. Inside the cool dark, a stone art begins. Mineral-laden drops fall from the ceiling, accumulating, accumulating, for hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of years. Stalactites grow downward. On the floor where drops land, minerals pile upward. Stalagmites. They reach toward each other, two hands of time touching lightly. Their growth is very slow, millimeters per century. A blink of earth, a long exhale of stone. In caves, sound is clearer. Drops fall, tink, 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 unhurried, unchanging. An ancient metronome, the planet's clock. Listen, and you can hear stone growing, not in words, but in rhythm. Many great caves host underground rivers, flowing forever in the dark, never seeing the sun. Water bends along old paths, sliding like a serpent, moving through earth, with glaciers' patience, but gentler. These rivers don't need to be seen to exist, like the very deep feelings in you, not noisy, not displayed, still flowing. Karst regions can be so vast they form underground labyrinths. Mammoth Cave in the U.S., over 700 kilometers explored and still not done. Sơn Đông in Vietnam, large enough for a forest, a river, and clouds inside. A complete world beneath our feet, mostly unknown. Often the extraordinary lies just below the familiar. We simply haven't dug deep enough. Sometimes the ground collapses suddenly. A sinkhole opens, not senseless destruction, but a door into a space that had been hidden. Earth isn't lost, it changes shape. Pause, listen inside yourself. You may have caverns within, places where memories settle like drops upon stone. Thoughts you've never spoken, feelings kept for long. No need to excavate or expose, only to know they, too, are softening, changing, growing. Like stalactites in the dark, nothing in you is still, even when you think you are. You are moving with earth, lightly, slowly, unseen. Now let your breath deepen, steady. Inhale, like water slipping through rock. Exhale, like a stalactite lengthening by a fraction of a millimeter. Everything is where it belongs. There is no hurry. When you're ready, we'll visit stones that change their very nature. Minerals becoming gems, where pressure and time make the quietest beauty. Part 13, Metamorphism and Gemstones. Beauty, born of pressure. Here beauty isn't born from softness, but from pressure heavy, deep, and long. This is the world of metamorphic rock and precious stone. Imagine an ordinary rock, granite, limestone, shale. They seem firm, stable, destined to remain themselves. But within Earth, nothing is forever. Everything can change nature under the right conditions. Pressure plus temperature plus time. Not a minute, not a season, millions of years, long beyond human sensing, but not beyond Earth's. Bury granite deep and it reorders its crystals, becoming nice. Bands of color bent like petrified waves. Sink limestone deep under heat and pressure, and it becomes marble, white, soft gleaming, a faint light trembling within stone. Compress shale, and it becomes slate, splitting into thin, durable sheets. Rock doesn't endure pressure so much as it is shaped by it, not destroyed, but made into a truer, deeper form, as we are, through long, difficult seasons. Within metamorphism lies a finer miracle, gemstones. They aren't everywhere. They don't form in peace. They arise at extreme intersections. Very high heat, very high pressure, and a precise balance of elements. A touch too hot, they melt. A touch too cool, they never form. One element missing ordinary stone. Everything just right, a gem. Beauty isn't always luck. Sometimes it's the universe's exactness. Ruby and sapphire are one mineral corundum. Their colors born of tiny impurities. A little chromium for red rubies, a trace of iron and titanium for blue sapphires. Beauty is not only essence, it is the right difference. A gentle lesson. You needn't be perfect, only truly yourself. Emerald is rarer. It forms where beryllium meets chromium under steady heat and pressure. Conditions so narrow that if they drift, nothing forms. Emeralds are rare not just for their elements, but for the slim chance of their becoming, like some moments in life, rare, unrepeatable, and precious. Opal is another story. No deep heat, no crushing pressure, only water. Water carries dissolved silica through rock. As it evaporates, silica precipitates into tiny spheres, packed like micro marbles. Light enters, bends, and splits into rainbows. Opal is light kept within stone, born of patience, not fire. Light can arrive through gentleness, too. Let this sink in. No beauty on earth exists without time. No inner beauty endures without quiet. No gem is born without depth. You needn't rush to become. Becoming happens naturally, in the right conditions, rhythm, season, like rock, like water, like you. Breathe in slowly, as rock rearranges in the deep. Breathe out softly, like light gliding through opal. You have nothing to do, only to allow. The earth took millions of years to craft its beauty. You may go slowly. Sleep draws near, soft, light. When you're ready, we'll move to ancient carbon and energy, fossil forests, oils, dreams of woods and seas kept as time's deepest memories. Part 14, Ancient Carbon and Energy. Memories of forests and seas. Trees, forests, green life that once covered the planet. Their memories remain in rock, in coal, in oil. Quiet, hidden, like dreams too deep to recall upon waking. Imagine a swampy forest 300 million years ago, before flowers, before insects chasing color, before birds. The Carboniferous an age of vast wetlands beyond imagining. Trunks rose not with leaves like today, but as tall columns scaled with woody plates. Ground was wet, soft, full of water. Air was heavy with mist and oxygen, enough for dragonflies to spread wings nearly a meter wide, a kind of green no longer found in our time. Eventually those trees fell, not by storm or flame, but by time's cycle. They sank into mud, were buried by silt and water. Deeper down, they didn't fully decay. Microbes that now break down wood had not evolved. So the trunks remained, pressure built, sediments piled, water withdrew, heat rose. And in millions of years, wood became coal, no longer tree or trunk or forest, but concentrated carbon, a wordless deep memory. Coal is ancient sunlight kept in darkness. Other trunks went deeper still, to depths where heat and silica-rich water permeated cell by cell, replacing structure while preserving shape. Petrified wood, no longer soft, but quartz crystal. Grain lines and growth rings so precise, you can read that a spring 200 million years past once touched that branch. An old memory turned to stone, still with a soul. Coal is the forest's memory. Oil is the ocean's. Picture an ancient sea teeming with plankton, lives too small to see, drifting like golden dust in morning light. When they died, they sank in snows of organic rain, layer upon layer, buried deep, very deep, pressed and heated. Those organic mats restructured their chemistry, becoming oil, not born of fire, but of silence, darkness, and time too long to name. Oil is ancient oceanic light, kept in deep night. Consider this: when a candle burns, a car moves, a home warms, that is not only energy, it is the return of long-stored sunlight. Forests dissolved, old seas dimmed, coal and oil sending light back skyward after hundreds of millions of quiet years. Earth wastes nothing, it only transforms. Lay your hand lightly on your chest. Feel your heart, like carbon's long cycle from leaf and sea to air again. Your heart moves through its own rhythm. Contract, expand, hold, release. Without thought, without effort. Each quiet beat enough. We are living cycles. Your body is made of carbon, once a leaf, a tuft of moss, a tiny sea creature, a ray of ancient sun. You don't just live on Earth. You are Earth, a chapter in its book of stone and wind, a bar in its song of water and light, a note in the planet's long breath. You need become nothing else. You are already part of the poem. If your eyes wish to close, let them. If your breath slows, let it slow. You're merging with the forest's breath, the ocean's breath, the earth's breath. When you're ready, we'll step to the chapter where light from beyond the planet touched Earth and rewrote life's story. Part 15: Cosmic Collisions and the Origin of Matter. We leave Earth's interior rock, sea, forest, ice, and step outward to where the story truly began, where the matter of you was born. Before Earth had oceans, mountains, sand, before it cooled from cosmic fire, its substance had already traveled far. You, I, the air you breathe, the stone beneath your hand, a mountain, a breeze, all made of stardust. Not poetry, not metaphor, a simple, profound fact. The carbon in your body was forged in a dying star's heart. The iron in your blood was hammered in supernovae. Gold and platinum in rings, circuits, From rare neutron star collisions, events so scarce the universe hears them as single notes in a long symphony, we carry the light of extinguished stars. Young Earth had no gold, no platinum, no heavy precious elements. They came later, delivered by meteorites in a late veneer, a final coat, a gift from space. Even now, a speck that falls may hold presolar grains, smaller than bacteria, larger than a glimmer, older than the Sunday. Part of you is more than 4.6 billion years old, ancient in a lovely way. Picture early Earth, hot, red, airless, waterless. Then arrivals from afar, ice, comets laden with frozen water fell, sometimes gently, sometimes fiercely, slowly, steadily, giving Earth what would become its oceans. The sea you know, the wave you heard, the drop that touched your lips, may once have trailed a wandering star. You carry the taste of space. Another great event, 66 million years ago, a 10 km asteroid struck what is now Yucatan, Mexico. The Chicxulub impact, ushering the end of the dinosaurs. Not blind destruction, but a closed door so another could open. Without it, mammals may not have risen. No primates, no humans, no you. You are listening because a star fell to Earth, the result of billions of unrepeatable conditions. This doesn't demand that you be special by striving. It reminds you that you are already special because you are. Even now, about 40,000 tons of cosmic dust fall to Earth each day, silently, unseen, settling into soil, seeping into water, floating in air, entering your body as you breathe. You keep growing with the universe, one breath at a time. The cosmos hasn't stopped. Earth hasn't stopped. Neither have you. All is drifting, light, gentle, like sleep. Let your body sink. Let your heart slow. You have come far, and one chapter remains. A lullaby, a closing, a long exhale. Part 16, the moon and the tides. We have crossed rock, sea, fire, and time. Now look up to a companion always there, gentle and quiet, supporting Earth's motions, the moon. Without the moon, Earth would be very different. Our axial tilt, the angle that gives us seasons, climate, and the rhythms of waking and sleeping, warmth and cold, would be unstable, wobbling wildly, forests to desert, plains to glacial exile. But the moon, softly and surely, sets a hand upon Earth's shoulder and steadies it. Thus the seasons you know, the climate in which life learned to live, have remained stable for tens of millions of years, a world able to breathe and nurture. The moon isn't just a body in the sky, it is Earth's steady heartbeat, and the tides the ocean's breath. Twice daily the sea withdraws and returns, without struggle, listening to the moon's call. That gentle but deep pull lifts the ocean like a blue silk sheet, up and down. Because of tides, there are beaches, marshes, mangroves, twilight zones of water and light, nurseries of the sea where fish grow, birds feed, corals respire, algae glitter. The cycle of marine life continues. Without tides, no soft beaches for your feet, no nutrient-rich coasts, a quieter, poorer ocean with no rhythm, but the moon remains, and the sea whispers in time with it. Under warm, clear tropical waters, Imagine a city that never sleeps, the coral reef. Coral is alive, and its skeleton left after its passing is limestone. Each tiny polyp builds a small room. When it dies, another grows atop, adding a thin floor of stone, and over thousands of years rises a living castle stretching for hundreds, thousands of kilometers. Mountains beneath the sea, not made by fire and pressure, but by patient life. Proof that rock can be born not only of volcano and magma, but of breath and persistence. If rock is memory, coral is memory that breathes. Let that image dissolve slowly in your mind. Sea rising, falling, rising, falling, like breath, like your body now. No need to try. Let it happen. And something quiet, yet deep. Each year, the moon drifts away from Earth, about 3.8 centimeters. So slow we barely notice. Enough to remind us nothing stands still. Not the most faithful companion, not the oldest orbit, not the rhythm we thought eternal. The cosmos flows, Earth flows, so do we. You don't need to cling. You only need to breathe with the motion. Let your shoulders drop, your jaw soften, your eyelids grow heavy. You are very close to sleep now. No hurry. Hear your heartbeat like a far-off tide. Imagine moonlight laid across night water. Light, thin, soft. The oldest lullaby on Earth. The moon is there. The sea is there. You are here. All are breathing together. Part 17, a lullaby to sleep. We have traveled far, from a crust thin as apple skin, to continents drifting as patiently as growing hair, from volcanoes feeding magma in stone, to bottomless oceans where life breathes chemistry, not light. We saw mountains rise by millimeters, ice flow like honey, and every grain of sand as a memory of vanished ranges. We listened as stone told of rain hundreds of millions of years past, feathers petrified with colors intact, cyanobacteria exhaling the air we live by. We watched Earth freeze and thaw by quiet volcanic breath. We saw continents join and part. A very long heartbeat, so slow we can see it only with the imagination of millions of years. We went to the core, hotter than the sun's surface and silent as a secret, where the magnetic cloak is woven to guard life from space storms. We heard earthquakes too small to feel, tiny tremors like the planet's slow breathing. We entered dark caves where a droplet spends a human lifetime, leaving a rice grain of stone, arches made not by might but by patience. We touched metamorphic rock, stone that keeps a diary of pressure and heat, and gemstones, light imprisoned for 1,000,000 years in perfect crystal forms. We touched coal, ancient sunlight in darkness, oil, small lives compressed beneath primeval seas. We saw scars of meteorites nearly erased, yet faint lines still murmuring that once the sky fell. We looked up at the moon, a quiet friend steadying Earth, raising tides, feeding coasts, feeding life. And now this journey settles on your shoulders like a soft shawl. You need not remember, analyze, or hold any detail, only the feeling. Earth does not rush, it does not hurry or force, it changes by whisper, one speck of dust at a time, one drop of water at a time, 1 millimeter per year. You do not need to transform this moment. You do not need clarity or completion tonight. You only need to allow yourself to go slowly, gently, kindly, softening like rock polished by water, growing like a mountain unseen, rising and falling like tides that never ask, when is the right time? Let your body grow heavy. Let your chin soften. Let your eyes close like the door of a house whose lights are out. You don't have to leave, only drift. Light as sand through your fingers, light as desert dust crossing an ocean, light as your own breath. You are held by the bed, by the air, by gravity, by time, by the story Earth has told you. Everything is lying down now, relaxed, settled, at peace. Nothing left to do, only sleep. Breath in, very soft. Breath out, very slow. No tasks, no unfinished thoughts, nothing to hold. Only you and the night and the earth lulling you to sleep. May your sleep be deep, long, and whole. May you wake tomorrow with a lighter body, a wider mind, and a softer heart. Sleep well, sleep safe, sleep in peace. Good night.